I'm a little embarrassed to admit how much I know about Taylor and Taylor Swift lore. She and I have the same birthday. She's from the same area in Pennsylvania. Our brothers are the same age. So I grew up listening to her music, and I know a ton about her. And there's been a recent uproar over her music and her new album called Life of a Showgirl. And yes, I already know all the lyrics. And the controversy is that many of her liberal fans, and a lot of her fans are actually liberal, which is actually one of the reasons why she decided to endorse Kamala Harris in the previous election. A lot of her fans are saying that her lyrics in her songs are trad wife, which is short for traditional wife, and MAGA coded. And what does that mean? She went from writing she became famous for writing love songs, you know, about really bad boyfriends.
For breakups.
Exactly. But now she's singing about wanting, quote unquote, the entire block to look like you. Direct quote, by the way, from the song Wish List. Yes, I know too much. And saying that she just wants to have kids, she just wants to have a basketball hoop, she just wants to get married. And people are saying that, in addition, her song Canceled, in which she says, I want all my friends draped in scandal and Gucci, is a song that alludes to her famously MAGA supporter friend, Brittany Mahomes, who's the wife of Patrick Mahomes, who's, both of them are Trump supporters, and unabashedly so. So a lot of her fans are upset. They see it as a betrayal of everything that she purported it to be. And somebody who stood up for her is a fellow celebrity called Ruby Rose, who says, and I think we have a photo of her message in support of Taylor. She said that Taylor used to go through GoFundMe pages as though they were social media posts, just seeing who she could donate to. And so that all the allegations of her being MAGA and trad wife are actually unfounded. But I take issue with that because I actually don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with being a trad wife and being MAGA.
Why does it have to be right-coded? Right? Like, I'm sure there are liberal women who want to stay home, raise their kids.
Well, I'm a conservative woman, and I love to be a trad wife. I have a career, and I love it. My career gives me deep meaning, but there's nothing more important to me than love. There's just nothing that transcends that. Yeah. And everything I do is for my audience of one. Like, I don't care, I can have thousands of people watching, but is that one person watching, and is he proud of me? Yeah. That is my North Star. He's my raison d'etre. So,
you're a working mother, working wife.
Yeah.
You could do both.
5 kids, 36 years.
5 kids?
Yeah. You look amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
How did you do that?
And but I think it's sad that these leftists who want to control popular culture so badly that they're willing to compromise the best parts of life. Right?
I agree, actually.
I mean, what is wrong with the trad wife? And how desperate and horribly angry do you have to be to come down on your own cultural icon if that's who you pick? And I'm sorry, I mean, no offense by this. But if you're a Swiftie and you have such a big problem with this, I think it's time to look in the mirror a little bit because are you going to really skip out on you're going to skip out on love. You're going to skip out on romance. You can't really love someone enough to say that I think the whole block should look like you or whatever you said. I don't listen to the music, but whatever you said.
You're lucky I didn't break out in song.
We're ready. I think it would be great. But no, I think it's really sad. And I think it's really time to look at what you say you value. If she really was going through GoFundMe's like most people go through social media, and she was looking for places to donate, is she incapable of that if she has a husband and maybe a child and enjoys some parts of life rather than just being angry all the time? Honestly, to the viewers who are out there thinking that she's that they're justified in their critique of her, I just think that's really sad. And here's what I would say to conservatives who are saying right now, because I can hear their voices. They're saying, I don't care what Taylor Swift does. I don't care. Then you get on creating a parallel economy and raising people up to where they have the kind of influence that Taylor Swift has, because she does have influence. You can deny that you like her, that's fine, but she does have influence. And just one more thing, for all of those who think that, cultural icons do such shaping of our culture, I would challenge you to show me any ad campaign in 2024, 2025, anytime recently, where a cultural icon had more influence than the base voter. The base voter, they are the ones with the power. And not to mention, I can't think of a bigger cultural icon than Donald Trump right now.
That's absolutely right.
Yeah.
I have a perfect graphic in response to what you just said. May we share it? Okay, so this NBC News report came out a few months ago, or last month actually. I have terrible eyesight, unfortunately. I'm basically blind. Thank you so much. Thank you. But basically, it shows that liberal women, people who voted for Harris, deprioritize having kids and settling down. It's just not important to them. I think that's a little bit, what do you think? I think it's a little bit troubling.
I personally don't care. I think this is where I actually do care. I care when you see people be judgmental and say things like, destroy the nuclear family or dismantle the nuclear family. Like, that's a tweet I saw from, I believe it was like a DSA chapter, and it's I found that gross because it's like, I think we should support people in the decisions they choose to make about their personal, intimate lives. And so for some people, maybe they've decided I wouldn't be a good parent and I don't want to have kids. I'd rather just, I'd be a wife, whatever, or husband, but I'm just not someone who wants to raise kids. I think that's fine. Obviously, there are gay couples who raise kids. There are also people who want to have a traditional nuclear family, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I think the important thing at the center of all of it, regardless of what you choose, is valuing family. Because at the end of the day, yes, I have a career. I love my career. I get fulfillment out of it. But in terms of like what makes me happy, what fulfills me, what keeps me going, it's my husband, it's my parents, it's my brother, my nieces, my nephews. That makes life worth living. And I wish the left in general understood that rather than essentially allow the right to take control or take hold of that narrative.
My question is just like, it's not a question. My issue runs a little bit deeper here where it's, let's say, and I don't think she did, let's say by God's miracle, Taylor Swift voted for Trump, which probably didn't happen. I think her husband did, by the way.
I think so too.
I definitely think he did. But what is the biggest issue? It's funny that the Democrats claim to be this party of inclusivity and acceptance and welcoming, but it's unless you disagree with their political agenda. So my thing is also, why do we let ourselves, and this is like a reflection moment, get to a place of worship of celebrities to the point that it even matters to you? I am obsessed with Lady Gaga. Your Taylor Swift is my Lady Gaga. She's as Democrat as it gets. I still love her music. I rock with it. And the reason I'm so cool with her disagreeing with me politically is because I think Kamala's campaign proved nobody cares who your favorite celebrity is voting for because, and this is what I told Andrew Cuomo, celebrity friends aren't going to help you win the election because there's nothing about being rich and famous that's relatable to the average American. So if anything, it actually hurts the campaign.
Emily, I actually completely agree with you.
There we go.
Yes, and I think the last thing you said was so accurate. It hurts your campaign because people like Oprah, Cardi B, Beyonce, they were paid millions of dollars in appearance fees, and they kept denying it.
Such a waste.
But the thing is, I helped to finance the Harris campaign. Like, if anyone would know, I would know. And what they had was, again, shell companies. For example, Oprah had a company called Harpo, and you turn it around. It's like, Oprah, that company was paid $2 million in production costs that she didn't have to take.
I think what the Democrats thought would work, and it obviously didn't because people don't care, is you don't have to have a message. You don't have to offer anything in terms of policy solutions. All you need to do is lean on celebrity, have Beyonce perform. People like shiny things, but I think Americans are a lot smarter than that, and that's part of the reason why Trump ended up winning the popular vote. He actually ran a campaign, even if I disagree with some of his policies, right? He ran a campaign focusing on the issues and what he wants to do about it. When you look at the Harris campaign, albeit she had a very short period of time to campaign, but even with that in mind, she spent that time pushing a pretty muddled message. Like, I didn't know what her values were by the end of the election.
Or what she was going to do to fix your life.
Exactly,
right? That's what politicians should be there for, is to serve the American people. But I will say, it's very frustrating to me, not to attack anyone on this panel, but it's very frustrating to me what Democrats have done just to divide our culture. And I'm not going to say Republicans are completely innocent of that, but I will say, in light of losing Charlie, in light of the assassination attempt on Steve Scalise, in light of the assassination attempts on our president, it is high time. And I really wish I were hearing more out of Democrat politicians who have the ability to influence, and honestly, cultural icons. Has Taylor Swift made a statement about Charlie Kirk's death?
She's not going to.
Yeah,
because
but that is a
Stick out
mistake.
her neck. She's not going to compromise her.
Well, that's terrible.
I can't believe that would be compromising her brand.
Because
but you're right. Yeah.
It's just really gross. And she didn't even want to endorse Harris until her liberal fans raised hell over it. Everything she does is a clear calculation, which is why I don't even consider myself a Swiftie, because I think of her as more of a businesswoman than I think of her as an artist.
Well, I feel like that's also the problem with their campaign using celebrities. There are people who worship the celebrities, and it goes to the demographic of like middle school, high school. Like I remember being in middle school and dying for Harry Styles. But then there's just a certain age
Harry.
that you just get like 18, you're in even high school. I don't think I cared about any celebrities because my SATs just killed me.
I'm always in love with Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm sorry, that's never going to go away.
But do you care who he votes for, honestly?
I was actually really bummed to see that he's a diehard Democrat.
He is?
He is, yeah.
I didn't need to know
I think
that.
there's a difference, though, between those of us who live it every day, caring what. Like, I won't listen to Taylor Swift exactly because of her politics.
Really?
Yeah, because it's how
But I
I
think she's
vote
a
with my
secret
pocketbook.
conservative. I literally
makes
think
sense.
she's
That's
a secret
even worse,
conservative.
Okay, fine, but
That
what
means she's a
she
sellout.
does is so divisive that I just won't support anything that she does. And I'm not saying that every decision I make regarding entertainment. I've gone to movies that I know, we all do it. We can all indict each other, but we all do it. But the bottom line is, I think we do have a chance to, I call it boycott and boycott. We have a chance to support things that we believe with our money.
I love that.
And we have a chance to support things, to turn against things, or not support things, or not even pay attention to things, not even let them into our radar, because there are so many important things to do, starting with explaining to this country that just because I believe something different from you doesn't mean that I want to kill you, and it certainly doesn't mean that I want to kill children,
Right.
or that I want. That's where it gets just.
Are you
so
thinking of Jay
crazy.
Jones?
Might be.
Okay.
Might
Oh my
be.
God, that J. Jones story is insane.
And by the
But
way, to
why
this
will
day,
no
not a
one
single
disavow?
Democrat has
No,
not a single Democrat has said he needs to step down from
Okay,
office. Not a single
that guy,
Democrat.
I literally can't believe the lack of reaction
And he has
from
children.
the Democratic
By
Party.
the way, just today,
he
I
had
just-
multiple opportunities.
Right.
Sorry, in this. Okay, first you
Go ahead, go
explain.
ahead.
Basically, this is like 2 years ago.
And I
or
have
3
an
years
update on
ago?
this because this morning something happened.
So Jay Jones, at the time, he was running for public office in Virginia, if I'm not mistaken, and he was texting with a Republican, by the way, and was talking about how he wants like his political opponent's children to die.
And he has children.
And he knows the children. He's
I mean, not that
referring
it's
to,
okay if
by
you
the
don't have
way.
children, but if you do have children, you are. I'm sorry.
And
You
some-
are mentally imbalanced.
And some,
I'm by the way,
and sometimes
the
like
person-
sometimes when you're angry, maybe you say things that are hyperbolic.
You don't say that. You don't say
I agree, but
Especially not on a
she
text.
gave
Exactly.
him,
He's like dumb as shit.
she gave him multiple opportunities
To walk it back and
reel it
still-
back,
yeah.
walk it back, and he wouldn't do it. Like
do it.
it's so gross.
And by the way, Tim Kaine, who's the senior senator in Virginia, refused to say that he should step aside. It's a huge indictment on Democrats if they're not saying a single thing. They should all be calling for him to
I
step
agree with
And
aside.
this is in the
I
same
agree.
state, by the way, that where the Democrats just about demanded someone step down for appearing in blackface, which I'm not condoning. But this was in college. It was years ago. He wasn't asking for anyone to be killed. This is a man literally with children saying that he wishes death on someone's children. That person is not mentally stable and should not be promoted by any party.
I just think what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And if Democrats historically have called for people to resign over much smaller issues, you have to hold your own accountable when he advocates for harm to be done to children. Come on.
And Anna, I'm telling you, if the Democrats would do this,
would
that
gain
is
so
how they
much
find their
respect.
footing again.
I wish
They're
they
never
would.
going to
So-
because they get pissed.
then they're
when-
done.
They are
They're done.
That's what I'm saying. They're at a
Which helps us.
19% approval rating. Do you remember a couple years ago, Kirsten Gillibrand and her the woke brigade got really pissed at Al Franken because he made a hand motion around someone's boobs. They cast a senator out of the Senate
They did,
for that
yeah.
photo,
Yeah.
but they won't ask someone to step aside because he says he wants to murder, that he wants children to die.
I'll
It's
state
just
the
so
obvious.
weird.
It's because a lot of people don't care that people are being killed for their political opinions. You know,
Not only
you
do they
mentioned
not
Charlie
care, they
Kirk,
want
they're
it.
happy.
Exactly.
I'll tell you, yesterday on Charlie Kirk's birthday, I was a little obnoxious. I went all over Manhattan sticking Charlie Kirk stickers on poles, and the messaging said, like, just because you're offended doesn't mean that you're right, or like some of his iconic quotes, and I like assorted them. I promise you, not even I was so proud to put my first sticker. I put it on, I go like this. A man's arm reaches behind me, snatches it off. He's like a tall, just like normal looking guy. And he goes, you support an effing fascist and you're a fascist too. And I look at him and I was feeling brave. I had security with me. And I'm like, okay, what did you like about Charlie Kirk? He's like, he supported slavery. What? I said, show me where he said that. He's scrambling on his phone. I'm like, I got a lot of time. My Fox News is at 8. He couldn't find it. And he's like, well, you're next. And I'm like, forget the fact that you want them to condemn political assassins.
Right there.
Dude, I wish my camera guy got his face. I'm like, I would have doxed him so bad. But anyway, forget the fact that they don't condemn it. They actually support it. But I don't know why there's not one Democrat, one moderate Democrat who could come out and be like, guys, this is why our party's failing. Someone needs to say something. I barely saw outrage about Charlie Kirk. I saw some like fake tweets here and there from some people. Better than nothing. But I'll tell you something. I don't like Joe Biden. Would I wish him anything ill? No. When he came out and he said he had cancer, I was one of the first people that commented on his tweet and put out a tweet. Donald Trump Jr. put out a tweet. It's almost like every Republican wished him healthy recovery, but you will never see that mutual. The bullets fly one way.
That's absolutely right. And again, thank you. I just want to say, to your point, when Melissa Hortman and her husband were gunned down brutally through the door, by the way, a murderer shot them, murdered them through their front door. All the Republicans signed on to a resolution condemning their murder in the House of Representatives. They failed to do that for Charlie Kirk. Democrats refused to sign on, and the 3 white Democrats who did sign on faced the wrath of none other than Jasmine Crockett, who said, oh no, white Democrats, they stick up for their race. They shouldn't have signed that.
This is the problem.
Yeah,
this is the problem with all of the identity politics, all of the DEI, the fact that we have called people who basically walked through a Capitol on January 6th terrorists, insurgents. You can't commit an insurgency without a gun. Just facts here. And at the same time, we have not talked about who the real terrorists are. Operation Quiet Skies, I don't know if you guys read about that, where American citizens were deemed terrorists. I was one of them, simply because I did my job. I went and reported on January 6th.
Is that the same
Tulsi
situation?
Gabbard, same operation. We're finding out about all of these covert operations now. This is why the best thing you can do, if you're really passionate about the reasons why you think you didn't like Charlie Kirk, number one, do your research. Google how many times he said he wants slavery, right? Google it. Good luck with that, because you will never find it. But number two, come together with people on the other side and have conversations like we're having right now. This is so important. I told you before the show, my dad was a very leftist individual.
Wow.
My whole life, I was subjected to conversations and debate that got very heated, way even more than you. One day I threw a whole bunch of microscopic pieces that I was assembling for his company across a room that were, you couldn't do anything about it at that point. They were gone. But we managed to have these conversations. If you will, just challenge yourself with one thing. You know, nothing in life comes easy. I tell my children this all the time. Sit across from someone you disagree with. Go to lunch with them. Have a conversation with them. Find what you agree on, and you might just find that you were wrong in some areas, but you might also find that you can make a friend that you disagree with on some things.
That's very true, yeah.
I think it's so important. I think it's more important than perhaps anything else we're talking about. And then once you come up with solutions, lobby for those solutions.
Yeah.
Because everything takes a law. We can disagree all day long, but if you can't sit down and draft the legislation and present it to a congressman or a senator or somebody who can do something about it, then you are never going to fix it, and we are going to ruminate ourselves into oblivion on our tribalism.
What's up, guys? Amy Dangerfield here. If you liked that video and you want to watch more like it, I need you to click over to YouTube, search up Her Take, and click subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.